Good morning, everyone. Back for another video. This time I wanted to show a work in progress on a space station being built for XCaliber's challenge. And that's kind of what you're seeing here. Put away some stuff. It's pretty big. It's got some interesting features that I'm working on, and it's of course far from finished right now. I think I went a little overboard. I know this was supposed to be a mid-level base. This is probably pretty high level. It's not as big as the Sentinel station, but it is bigger than the Helix station, or Helix orbital, I should say. A couple things that are interesting about this one, and there I'll kind of show you the untextured kind of layout of the hangar area right now, unfinished on this wall here, except for this chunk here. This is a little unique feature, and what I wanted to do was to have increased storage far beyond what this could do at 7500 CPU. Now currently I have two storage bins in here at 320K, 4 constructors, 4 built-in forges along the wall here, and then we've got 4 deconstructors on this side. Now one interesting thing, and this isn't quite done yet, but it looks like it's going to work out pretty good, is notice these shutter doors here and that door on the top. Well, what I've got out here is a test CV that I've been building to work with this base, and it's pretty small and it's very ugly right now, but that'll change. This is all for testing. So when you're flying this thing, say you're flying around, what you want to do is you want to perfectly line up your cursor or your to this symbol here. Actually, just slightly above it seems to work the best, but see if I get this right. So you line up, you fly right at this thing, and then you land. Now it's a little wonky. I'm kind of like just hitting the down key a little bit. So you get it to a point just like this here. Then you exit out of this CV, which goes up to this top door. This top door runs into the top door, which will lead you right into the base, and there'll be a catwalk up here. And now what you have, see, I'm a little off, as you have access to these two 320K storage bins right on the outside of the base, and it is airtight as well. Let me see if I can adjust this a little bit better. I normally get it right lined up perfectly, but yeah, I'm off this time. And it's a little squirrely, and I don't think there's anything I can really do to make this perfect. But the alignment's better now. I've done this a bunch of times just to see how it's going to work out, and it's not too hard to dock at all. I didn't want anything complicated where you got to like line up pegs or anything like that. It's just basically flying at the wall and landing. So then this thing sits down on this pad, and you have additional storage, accessible both by foot or, of course, by Wi-Fi to the base. So I thought that was kind of neat, and there's 3 of these bays, so potentially 6 320K storage extra bins could be flown up to this thing or out in space or whatnot. Now I'm not sure exactly what specs I want this to be. I could actually go to 320K, maybe make this a little longer. Problem is it's using these cheap thrusters, and they don't have a lot of lift and things like that. So I don't know, if you would just build these things, which are going to be really cheap, and park them here and just leave them there. If you want to transport these things full, I don't think they're capable. To make a capable one, I would need to use bigger thrusters, and that's problematic for something pretty small like this. Not saying it can't be done. I'm just saying it would be hard. Especially maybe if I extended these bays out further, made it longer, and then packed in some thrusters. That's still under debate. I don't know exactly how I'm going to pull that one off. Another big thing too is I got kind of a temporary solar array over here with 15 solar panels. I'm not sure if I want to angle it down this way. Now, I had some complaints with the Helix orbital because I had these solar panels going out this other direction. Now, it depends on where you're at on how well it works. This would work out nice because if you're out in space and you point this directly at the sun, then these solar panels would get energy. And I'll probably go with this method. I might lower them down a little bit more so they don't potentially get any shadow from the bottom of this base. So on the rest of the base, so you start out over here, and then you got this elevator system, and something that's very unique with this is I almost built it like a shopping mall. So you have like this long, like almost chandelier thing hanging down from way up there. So you'd go up the elevator. This is mostly unfinished yet too. First floor up here, you've got some guest rooms. So there's one like this on the other side too, and they actually have a overlooking balcony over the hangar, which I thought was kind of neat. These are going to get all pimped out. I think I went up too far. No, that's the base level. Okay, and then yeah, this is going out to the forges. There's so much that's unfinished right now. So this over here would be a capital vessel, like if you bring in your big CV or whatnot, you could park it here, and then you know, EVA over to the base. Okay, and then this is the first floor. This is more guest rooms. So it's going to have like 4 different quarters, I guess you could say. All the function, however, is staying down in the hangar area. So really, the fluff stuff, like all this back here, you're not really going to need to go there for any particular reason, unless you just want to, you know, chill out or something. But as you go up the elevator to the next floor, you come up to the farm. Now the farm, I did kind of texture this area, first layer. And the farm is very interesting. A lot of curves, a lot of angles, a lot of decoration. Trying to put in everything. So you got your food processors and your fridges, things like that. But yeah, I think this is kind of neat. It's got just everything's angled and funky. So as you go up this further, you get to the next floor. I don't call that a floor. That takes you actually right up to this top section. This is going to be a big lounge, and it's going to have a swimming pool, and it's going to have all kinds of neat things in it. I might even have like a little dance floor thing going on. I don't know, but this is way at the top of the station. Gives you a pretty neat overlook of the landing pad area. So you can kind of see all the stuff down there. The station itself is not near as big interior-wise as the Sentinel station. The Sentinel station was pretty enormous. But the areas that it does have, you know, it's all about function down here, gameplay value, and then, you know, of course your farm is nice and functional, and then the rest of the stuff is pretty much fluff. I mean, but what else are you going to add that you really need? It'll probably have a med bay somewhere too. So I'm covering all the bases. I want this to be a full-fledged player base, you know, or space station. And so it does a little bit more than what the challenge was asking for, but it's also a little bigger. So that's kind of how this is coming along right now. Very weird design. I'm going to add a lot more turret positions around this thing yet. I want this well defended. It is combat steel built hull, and the interior is carbon carbon substrate. So one other thing I built, as I jumped on the Foundation Creative server, I noticed that there was a bunch of, it gets dark and you can't control the light, so I built this little thing. I call it the Merc-Lightship. I don't believe I will release this to the public, but I will put it up for friends only. This does nothing but make a light. Yeah. And here, I'll bring this up a little bit here. And it makes a lot of light down on the ground here. So that's kind of cool. So if you're out working at night, you kind of have a lot of light, put it that way. And it can be fairly far up there. So this basically just has 8 spotlights pointing down at the ground, kind of separated a little bit. And of course, if you're in creative mode, you can always go to this thing and turn off the thrusters too, and then it has a very long operational time. Well, pretty long. And makes an awful lot of light. Also at night too, you can kind of see how I'm, oh, I got the CV parked there right now. Let me move the CV out of the way. Whoop. I'm trying to work on making this brighter so you can see this nicely at night, but I'm trying to get this target very visible. I might change the colors on the center area. Actually, just mess with that a minute, see if that makes it brighter. Thing is all this glass is always tinted. Oh, that actually works out alright, I think. So if you're out here at night, which is making it all the harder, you can kind of see it there. See how I did with the alignment this time. Not bad. Not bad. So these containers line right up. So that, I think this will work out pretty good because I found that this is quite easy to dock, following those simple little rules of just lining up and flying forward. Not too much complications there, and you can see out the front of the ship where you're going. So I think that will be a success. It's just, you know, what do I want to do with these? Do I want them cheap and you just fly them in position and turn off the thrusters and leave them there? Or do you want to load these things up and fly them somewhere? That's another thing. So here, let me find that light ship. Where'd it go? It's got to be here somewhere. Wow. I see the light from it. Wow, I lost my ship right in front of the base. That's pretty cool. Okay, come on now. This is getting stupid. Where the heck is it? I don't even see the icons for it. Oh, because it fell on the mech. That wasn't supposed to do that. Oh well. Alright. Let's get this light ship moving again. Ah, it's stuck on the mech. Come on, move. Move. Oh, this is weird. Oh, I got the thrusters off too. There we go. Well, you know, I gotta do something idiotic every day, so, or more than one thing. So there we go. So as in the mech, oh, and I also tried these new landing gear. They're unique. For this particular build, they seem to do what I want them to do. I guess land the craft. On the mech, the only thing that was really left here was the interior, and I don't know if this would be a good tutorial or not. I was thinking about it, but I mean, it's like this thing is going to be designed to be fake, so what do I even want in the interior? I mean, I don't really want to load it up with constructors and storage and ammo storage and all that stuff. So I don't think this would be a really good example to show off. There's not much to do there. I think I'd be better off like trying to dive into one of these rooms inside of the space station, like possibly this area here. And yeah, this area I just want to be as fancy as I can get it. I mean, just go out crazy. I'm gonna try to. I've seen people do swimming pools before. I'm gonna try to figure more of that out on maybe what textures I should be using. Um, and lighting is going to be very important up here. But as it is, I expect the space station to be somewhere around size class 7. It's not going to reach. It's not going to stay in size class 5. Currently, it's at 474, and I don't have a lot of stuff on this thing yet. I mean, it's got the farm mostly done, but as soon as I start adding lights and detail items and things like that, it's going to go through the roof on size class pretty quickly. It already is fairly high size class considering its size, and that is because I use a lot of curvy blocks and things like that. And this is using quite a lot all over the place on the roof over here. The more polygons you have in your block, the more it counts towards your size class. So using the fancier, higher polygon blocks will make your creation jump up in size class faster. But I tell you what really does it is lights. Um, every one of these lights that are in these things are expensive towards size class. They're not expensive to build, and that's where this. I'm not saying this station's cheap, but it is a combat armor hull. And currently it's even got a 10-hour and 49-minute build time. Well, I got to figure out what's using estrium. I must have popped in. Oh, I bet you I've got a repair bay downstairs. I bet you that's using it. So, as in the mech tutorial, I don't think I'm going to do that right now. On the interior, but I'm going to try to set up another tutorial working on this station. Wanted to get this out the door, out the door. I wanted to get this out pretty soon, but I mean, I want to take my time with this thing and make sure everything's good before it gets released. I was debating whether or not to even make it bigger. Originally, I was going to have more of a tower area and more interior space down here, but then I'm like, I don't have anything really to put there, and having more interior space, like the Sentinel Station, for instance, had a ton of it, and I didn't know what to do with it, and I was right up against the upper limits of size class 10, and yeah, you don't really need something that big. This one, where it counts, it's pretty big. The hangar is pretty good size. I did the sunken in floor again, like I did on the Waypoint hangar. Now, of course, the Waypoint hangar had the problem with the repair bay, because the floor was sunk. It's not going to be an issue with this base because I'm going to have the repair bay on the top, probably spaced out here a little further from this control tower, so you can fly up CVs and repair them. So I'm not worried about the sunken in floor in this build, and I guess that'll be my that'll be how I go forward. If there's going to be a repair bay, I probably will not sink the floor because that was just a pain in the butt. Well, anyway, you all have a good day. I'm going to try to get another tutorial out fairly quickly, maybe even today yet, on working on this station. But I try to break these videos up so they're shorter because my upload speed sucks, and these things take forever and a day to upload to YouTube. So I've been trying to be as quick as possible about it. And I can go up to 60 frames a second, but that's even a bigger file size. So I've been actually down to, I believe, 30 frames a second on these videos. Okay, have a good day, y'all. Thanks.